I've always been impressed by this. You've been a long-time critic of the British tabloid press, a very outspoken one, an important voice in the phone hacking scandal that brought down Rupert Murdoch's News of the World in 2011. Why was the issue so important for you to take on? Because I've heard from your own experience, these people go really far in terms of invading privacy.
Yes. Everyone thinks, oh, well, he's just bitter because he got arrested with a hooker in 1995. But actually,
I wasn't referring to that.
But you know what? Really, who hasn't?
But actually, it had nothing to do with that, because that was never uncovered by tabloids. It was the bloody police gave everyone the information. No, it's not to do with that. It was to do with newspapers need power, a lot of power, because they're really important to democracy. But, he said pompously, with power comes responsibility.
Yes.
And in Britain, it is a kind of uniquely UK problem. There's no responsibility, and these big newspaper owners, largely non-tax-paying newspaper owners, are living above the law and invading the privacy of people whose kids have been killed in a road accident or whatever to get the sensational article. And no one dares to take them on in Britain because they're so scared of them, especially the politicians. And that's why politicians really, in my country, are chosen by the press. Our Prime Minister is largely chosen by dint of how much he's sucked up to the newspaper barons. So that's what my campaign is about.
Do you think that Brexit has ruined your country?
Well, I do. He said with a smile. And actually, now the majority of Brits do as well, I think.
So maybe it'll get fixed. I hope
so. The Europeans may not want us back. They may say, well, you know, choose one and stick to it.
It's also very pricey for them to get back into.
But
we used to have a discount. It's true.
Hello, Royal Sussex Squad family. Today we dive into a topic that's shaking up conversations about power, politics and the media. Hugh Grant's unapologetic critique of UK newspapers. Let's unpack the actor's bold revelations about the unchecked power of the press and its chilling influence on politics and privacy. Hugh Grant. He's known for charming rom-coms and that awkward Notting Hill bookstore encounter, but recently he's become a vocal critic of a very British institution, the tabloids, and let me tell you, he hasn't been mincing words. Grant claims these papers operate with unchecked power, influencing the political landscape and trampling on individual privacy. It's a bold statement, and one that has ruffled feathers in newsrooms across the UK. Now, some might dismiss Grant as just another celebrity throwing a tantrum, but here's the thing, he's got a point. The relationship between the British public and their newspapers is complicated, to say the least. It's a relationship built on a potent mix of adoration, dependence, and a healthy dose of fear. And Grant, having been on both sides of the flashing lights, understands this dynamic better than most. He's seen the good, the bad, and the downright ugly side of this media beast, and he's not afraid to call it out. British newspapers, particularly the tabloids, love to position themselves as fearless champions of the people. They claim to hold the powerful accountable, exposing corruption and giving a voice to the voiceless. And to be fair, there have been times when they've done just that. But let's not kid ourselves. More often than not, these papers are more interested in selling a juicy headline than upholding journalistic integrity. They weaponize information, distorting narratives and shaping public opinion to fit their agendas. It's a dangerous game, one that can have real-world consequences. Think about it. How many political careers have been built on favorable press coverage? How many have been destroyed by a carefully placed rumor or a scandalous and often misleading front-page splash? The power these papers wield is undeniable. One of Grant's most powerful accusations is the way UK newspapers exploit personal tragedies for profit. They prey on the vulnerable, turning private pain into public spectacle. The death of Princess Diana is a prime example. The relentless pursuit of the princess by paparazzi, culminating in that tragic night in Paris, sparked global outrage. Yet, even in the face of such tragedy, the lessons seemed lost on some. The hunger for sensationalism, the need to be the first to break the story, often outweighs any sense of decency or respect for human suffering. And it's not just the royals who are targeted. Ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances often find their lives splashed across the front pages, their grief laid bare for all to see. It's a cruel and exploitative practice, one that speaks volumes about the ethics of some within the British press. The relationship between the media and politics is a complex one, a delicate dance between watchdog and participant. In the UK, this relationship is particularly intertwined. Politicians rely on favourable media coverage to advance their careers, while media moguls often have close ties to those in power. It's a symbiotic relationship, but one that can be detrimental to a healthy democracy. When media outlets become mouthpieces for political parties or specific ideologies, they cease to serve the public interest. Instead, they become tools for propaganda, shaping public opinion and influencing elections. This lack of objectivity undermines trust in both the media and the political system, creating a breeding ground for cynicism and apathy. One of the most concerning aspects of this unchecked power is the lack of accountability for media moguls. These individuals who control vast media empires operate with impunity. They are answerable to shareholders, not the public, and when their actions threaten the very fabric of democracy, there are few mechanisms in place to hold them in check. This lack of accountability has a chilling effect on free speech and a free press. Journalists who dare to challenge the status quo or expose wrongdoing risk their careers and even their safety. The result is a media landscape dominated by those who are more interested in protecting their own interests than serving the public good. So where do we go from here? How do we ensure that the media serves the public interest and holds power accountable? It's a question that deserves our attention. One solution is to strengthen media ownership regulations, limiting the concentration of media power in the hands of a few. Another is to empower independent media outlets, providing them with the resources and support they need to thrive. But perhaps the most important step is to cultivate critical thinking among the public. We need to be more discerning consumers of news, questioning narratives, and seeking out diverse perspectives. By demanding better from our media, we can create a more informed, engaged, and ultimately more democratic society. Because as Hugh Grant has so eloquently pointed out, this isn't just about celebrity gossip or salacious headlines, it's about the health of our democracy, and that's something worth fighting for. Hugh Grant's bold statements remind us of the critical role we all play in demanding accountability and transparency from both the media and our leaders. Thank you for tuning in today. As always, stay informed, stay empowered, and let's continue to demand better for our society.